Hello and welcome to my show again, Searching for Integrity. My name really is John Smith, and I'm searching for people with integrity. Why? Because our country suffers from IDD, integrity deficit disorder. We have as our guest today Dr. Frieda Birnbaum, a psychologist whose book is Life Begins at 60, a new view on motherhood, marriage, and reinventing ourselves. Dr. Frieda, you are there because I can see you.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here.
Yes, I'm glad you're here. Um, I should tell you that I am the father of twins, which is I guess that could be a club for that, but we won't go into that now.
Mhm.
And you're the one that broke the record. I'm surprised that they keep you out of the state fair when people
I
come.
wouldn't, I would think that it would be the opposite. They should really see that life does begin at 60, that you have a lot to look forward to. It's more exciting than ever, energized and youthful, and the expectations were not what I expected. And I'm really happy to see that we have a lot to look forward to as we do get older.
Well, I've enjoyed that part as well.
Mhm.
I am I'm kind of missing the words with that. It's just such. I mean, you really don't know having twins unless you've had twins, and the work that's involved, and the part of it that at least I was a freshman in college, having just got out of the army, and my wife had twins there, and it's been great. It's been wonderful. There's certain things you can do with twins that you can't do with single children.
Mhm. Absolutely, it's true. I think it's easier to have twins. They have each other, although my boys are 15 now, and one says, why do I have to always do something with my brother? Can't I do something on my own? And I thought, he's actually right. He's not obligated. They're not attached to each other. So a little bit, of a mixed feeling I have that, yes, they have their own identity, but, they've always had each other's back, and it was very comforting. So one has a friend that is more supportive of him than the other twin, and the other twin feels that maybe he needs to get his own friends. So we're at that stage, but it's been a real interesting experience. I've had other children, and they're very fortunate that they have each other. They'll always have that other siblings don't have, even if they're closer to age. So that's been a wonderful gift for me to see that they're wonderful students, honor roll. They're much taller than me. I'm 5'2", they're 6 feet. So now I have to look up to them literally. Things have changed that way. And but the important thing is to know for your listeners that having twins is not any harder, and it's actually much easier. I found it to be.
I would agree with that. It was much
Yeah.
more fun. Let me tip something here to Mac. Mac, I believe Dr. Frieda's video is left us.
Oh, it's not. You lost it here. Wait a second.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Is that better?
There you go.
Can you see
That's
me
it.
now?
That's
Okay,
it.
there you
Yeah,
go.
sure. Back to the twins and being busy. I ended up coaching every sport that there was. I had a pitcher and a catcher. I had a quarterback and an end. I had 2 point guards for the basketball team. And I ate it up the whole time. I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world for having that opportunity.
Yes, it's wonderful. And they are also taking tennis. One wants to do wrestling. They're taking piano lessons, violin lessons, guitar lessons. They wanted to do football. My husband wouldn't let them because his fear of concussions. And so they are just like your twins. Your twins are boys, I assume?
They are.
Okay,
Yes.
so mine were also are also boys, and yes, they seem to fit in very easily. And I think part of that is because they have the socialization with one another, so they fit in socially. It seems
Hmm. Hmm.
easier than a child who's on his own. They have role models of each other, how to reenact different situations with each other. So that's one thing why it's been easier for them socially. Academically, one will go to the other and ask questions if they don't
Hmm.
understand something, back and
Right.
forth. So they
Hmm.
have each other that way. So there's a inborn support system. It's interesting. I'm thinking about when I was pregnant, I heard both sides kicking. And then I only heard one side kicking. And I said, oh, I must have lost the baby. And I found out the baby B went to baby A. And it's been that way their whole lives, that this one was always more attached to the other one. So what happens in utero seems to be interesting phenomena when the kids get older. I have a daughter, and she and my son, and you know, they're my son is the oldest of Jason, then Alana is second, and she also, when she came out very slowly, and my son like jumped out of me. And guess what? Their character traits
Hmm.
when they grew up, where was he was very quick, and she was mindful and thoughtful, and that's who they really are. So genetics plays a really big part in who your children are, and you just watch them, and they'll sort of run the show. They will tell you what to do and who's the boss for sure. Always.
I know that. Um, this is a great opportunity for you to do this and to help others. I assume your practice is still going along as well.
Yes, I'm very busy with my practice. I'm writing another book. I'm considering a play. And so it's a message that I'm giving other people about what age means. And it's not only about, looking a certain way, but it's living a certain way is my message. How do you live a life that's fulfilling? So you shouldn't have this kind of anxiety about aging, because then you feel that older people have less to offer, and you're going to get older also, and you're going to see that you're wrong. So it's about having this passion for life, how you look at things and how you look at your lifestyle. So my lifestyle was such that I've always been this way. I've always been proactive. I've always worked. I've always gone to school. I've always had kids since I was young, 22. I got married at 22. And I always defined myself differently because society did not have someone in front of me to show me what I wanted. So I just did it on my own. And then, of course, it was, oh my God, look what she's doing. But then 10 years later, it's, what's the big deal? So
Mhm.
I just, it seems to be falling into place. Eventually, this is going to be not a big deal either, as people are living longer, younger too, having children later. But we are redefining our roles today, the way we live developmentally. It used to be that in your 20s you got married, 30s you had a family, 40s peak career, then grandparents, and then in your 50s, and then 60 you're retired. Well, today it's a combination of everything, that everybody is working, relationships, raising children, 40 in their 50s. So age is not defined the way it used to be. And that's a good thing for people who are considering making changes in their life, such as having children. But I don't want to preach, so I'll wait for you to talk. I can
That's
talk
all right.
forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm going to play right with you on that.
Okay.
When you have the benefits of redefining age, do people look at you go, huh? What's that mean?
Yeah, about maybe 15 years ago, I was in Newsweek. I was quoted as saying that ageism needs to be redefined. And it actually is being redefined. It's just that we don't, if you look around you, you'll see people, you don't know what age they are, but you know what they're doing. And if people would define their age more, society would catch up with what it means today. Because 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you really can't tell that much. And even in your 70s, you're reinventing yourself. You're having a second career. Even into your 80s, you don't have to be old. Well into your 80s. I mean, that's iffy. It depends on your health, of course. So that's what I'm talking about, that ageism needs to be redefined. And it's not necessarily about having children. It's about, middle age. What does that mean? I feel middle age was my prime years. It still is. I still feel like I'm in middle age. And it's the best time. It's a time to change what the words mean. Retiring seems like you're retiring from life. It's not true. You really are reinventing yourself into something maybe that you enjoy more than before, because you don't have to pay the mortgage or childcare. So it's a whole different way of living our lives today, where we're not defined by our age, by our roles, by our gender. Women as well, with in vitro, can have children later as well. Women today, even the way they dress, they don't dress the way their grandmothers dressed at their age. They don't look like that. So all that thrown together is taking a whole big different picture on where we are today. And today, I mean, I live my life, if you want to talk about me, I live my life with people younger than me, because they're in a situation similar to my lifestyle. So I associate with that. But no one has ever said I was the grandmother of my kids. No one has ever said, they can't connect to me. So I don't feel that. And people my age, it depends who they are in their lives more than the number of years that they have. Somebody who's interesting, somebody who's doing something that's productive, that's what I do connect to. Someone who is a good conversationalist and I enjoy talking to. That's really what it's really all about. So we are defining ourselves very differently than when we used to in the past. Now you can talk. I'll zip it.
Well, no, you don't need to zip it. Not at all.
Okay.
I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, I've never ever thought that I was too old to do anything. And I'm 74 now.
Congratulations.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, but men have a privilege that women didn't have. Women are starting to have that privilege, because I'm around your age. And just want to tell you that you don't have to go out there and redefine age. Because if you look in the media, if you look on television, if you look at newscasters, Walter Cronkite for one, there was a
Dr.
time
Frieda?
I think yes.
We lost your video again.
Okay, sorry. It doesn't want me to be seen. I guess my video keeps stopping on me.
There you go.
Something's going on. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
right.
So, women are still at this place of age where do they fit in like men do with things that are very visible? Well, here I am with women that are in their 30s. And I'm, again, doing something that I feel is the right thing to do. I'm not following the norm. And so you can say easily, age is not a factor, because if a woman has evidence of ageism on her face, people will scrutinize that more. Now, if you go to European countries, these women are respected. And it's a different way of looking at what that means. An age there is nothing that's asexual. It is something that women are still vibrant. So yes, so it's easy for a man to say that. And I'm very fortunate. I haven't had any problems with that. as I've gone along with all that I have done, people have never said, I don't fit in, or you can't do this. The only one that's ever said that is my mother, who said no to everything I wanted to do. But that's a whole different story. That's separate. She didn't want me to do anything. An interesting lady.
Makes you want to do it all the more.
That's why I did it all. That's why I did. I said, get me the hell, whatever, out of here. I'm doing it. I'm coming through. That's it. I'm finished. And so I did it. I did it all. I mean, yeah, I think the more resistance you have in life, the more resilient you are. Mm-hmm. I mean, my father told me, don't go in the media. You won't know what to say. Well, the truth is, I can't stop talking when I'm in the media. So he definitely didn't know who I was, but that's what he told me. I think it was coming from himself, not from me.
Right.
You know, parents stifle their children because they see their children as their own clones, and kids are different than themselves. And sometimes they're uncomfortable. You know, I remember I was in a restaurant or something with my son years ago. And there's a man sitting next to us at the table. And my son says out loud, why does that man not have any hair? You know, and I was so uncomfortable. Now, the guy must have thought, you know, just a little kid, who cares? But for a parent, you want the child to think like you, go to school go to college, get this right degree, everything the way you want to. We really have to let go of these things.
Now, along in your practice, I see that's primarily for women. Have you done any marital counseling?
Oh, all the time. My practice is not primarily for women. I don't know where you got that. That's not true.
Okay. My mistake.
It's not primary. Yeah. My practice, actually, the truth is there are more men coming to therapy than ever. More men roles are reversing a little. Women are out there in the work field more. Men are becoming much more nurturing. So they're coming in. Although in the past, when women came in, it was usually the man who needed to come in. He was the problem person, but he didn't want to come in because he didn't want to change things. But my practice is with couples, with individuals, with groups, families. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. What people are looking for today has changed compared to what they were looking for before. People want more of a connection. It's not the man going out to work and the woman staying home. The woman wants to be responsible too and have a career. And the man wants to be nurturing and not miss that part of himself. So it's a healthier time for both people because they both want a little bit of what they didn't have, taking turns doing both.
Exactly. I'm looking here at women, especially, and thanks to advancements like IVF. I'm not familiar with that.
In vitro fertilization, you haven't heard of that?
Oh, yeah, sure, when it's spelled out.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So I'll give you some credit there. So anyway, so, you know, men are able to have children later in life, and women, here we go again. Yeah, here we go again. And women really have not had that. And today they're able to have children later, which means that they can have their careers. They can go ahead and make changes in their lives. Their education doesn't have to be postponed till after they have children. Right. So all that is helping women with their own opportunities to move ahead in life, what they didn't have before. So that's a good thing. And women, as I said, their fashion has changed too. So they're also fitting in. We live in a country in America where, God forbid, you look old. The sad thing is when you look old, people feel that you're feeble or something. They don't take you into consideration. And the older you get, the wiser you are, of course, and the more confidence you have, of course. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to have that kind of maturity. But yes, in vitro has helped women to extend their careers, to extend their education, to make changes in their relationships and their lifestyles. So it's been a very good thing. And of course, for women who have difficulty having children and having reproductive issues, it's helped with that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am looking here at sample topics. And you started out with, I believe, just in casual conversation, with anxiety and depression. Is that the number one that you, when they walk through the door and say, I need help? Is that
Well,
usually?
yes, that's a good question, because, we live in a society that's really very much anxiety producing.
Mhm.
We have to make that money. We have to have a schedule. We have to get the grades, whatever that is. I mean, I just spoke to my son too. He was already recruited for a top position. He hasn't even finished college yet, and he's still all stressed out and drinking coffee. And he got palpitations, so he has to stop drinking coffee. That's what it's from. Be careful not to get too much medication for no reason. But yes, we do live in a stressful place where people are competitive. The grades are competitive. Kids need to memorize things that they're not even interested, that they forget the next day. We have to really slow down and have a passion for what we do, to enjoy school so we can have that passion as adults. At school, you're taught to be a follower. As adults, you're taught to be, the minute you're finished, now be a leader, but they don't have that kind of interest in what they're doing, or they haven't been taught that. So it's important for people in general to be able to know that they enjoy what they're doing, to have hands-on experiences, and use that when they're older, not to wait till you retire to enjoy what you're doing. And then you won't have that kind of anxiety and stress. But what's important about that question is the younger generation, the millennials, are living their lives differently than the baby boomers. They're not looking to buy things. They're looking to have a quality life instead of going out there and working all day and not having time to enjoy that. Rather have less money and more time.
I look down the list and I see addiction. And there are so many people that have caught it, fought it, and not necessarily better with it, I guess, unless they have someone like you who's a professional that can really help somebody with addiction. Oops, there went your video again.
I'm gonna have to fix that. Sorry.
It's all right.
Okay.
So back to addiction. It's just one of those things that people say, well, I can't help it,
Well, addiction, you spoke about anxiety, and it's really a pathway to addiction because it calms you. So you'd use coffee, that's an addictive substance. Alcohol, it can be addictive as well. And then guess what? Somebody gives you a weed or something and say, oh, this is relaxing me. There's no harm here. Then it escalates. And then, of course, we are addicted to prescription medications as well. And then we use those on our own. I mean, I have a patient who's 15 who uses Benadryl as an addictive to medicate himself to be calm from the
Really?
medicine cabinet. Yeah. So you could get all kinds of addictive habits. And it's important to know that some of these rehab centers create more networking for addictions. It's very hard to wean yourself off of it, but that's the only way you can do it. You have to be able to know that even people who have surgery and they get pills to relax them, they become addicted to those pills. So you have to know when to stop it. But anxiety, depression, we need to look at the root of the problem and look at it to people like myself or anybody else out there, of course, and see what is the real core issue, because that's always going to be the problem, no matter what you do.
Dr. Frieda, would you mind informing my audience, all my listeners out there, to where they can find your book, if they can find you, website, those kind of things? Would you please?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So my book, Life Begins at 60, is at Barnes & Noble, it's on Amazon.com. I have a website, Dr. Frieda, DrFrieda.com, where they can find me. If they want to personally email me, I'm open to that as well. And it's Dr. DoctorFrieda@gmail.com.
Well, that's an opportunity for anybody listening to that and writing it down. I've had a good time listening to you. It's over with pretty soon here. I'm going to have to to tell you that. But I am also thankful for my listeners if they listen and they are really looking for information. There's the video again.
That video, I have to fix this. Sorry. Here we go.
All right.
Yes.
And they're tuning in for searching for integrity. And I think that they strive for that when they listen to some of the shows, and they have a different approach to it. And I want to thank you for being on the show today. It's been delightful, I would say.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. I enjoyed your questions. You made it easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that your listeners do get something out of this information.
Oh, I think they will. And so long and happy trails to all.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you very much.
You too.
Nice meeting you.
Nice
Take
to
care.
meet you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.